start. This is Anthony Weeks, and I want to thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast this afternoon. We just wrapped up the first segment of the show, and we are now in the second segment. We have a special couple of guests lined up for you this afternoon on the second segment. We have recording artist, which is Rachel Villalona. She is a singer, writer, and publisher. She is what I call a crossover artist in terms of bilingual. We're going to make some announcements just in a little bit and some of the things that we're doing, and we're going to share that with you shortly. But I have let me bring in Rachel and my colleague. I see Terry is there as well, and Terry as well. Rachel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hi, everyone.
Fantastic. All right, so I see Terry's signing in there.
Hi, good.
Fantastic. All right, so Rachel, what I'd like to do is I was waiting for Ricardo to call in before we bring you on in terms of kind of just sharing with the audience what we're doing. But clearly, what we'll do, because we're waiting on Ricardo, I want to share with our audience today that we are excited because we are doing some really, I think, some sort of groundbreaking, making some groundbreaking decisions in terms of how media is going to be presented going forward. It's certainly, it's not unusual to see both English and Spanish content being shared on different platforms. But what we are aiming to do at this point is to clearly create a single platform that literally blends English and Spanish on a regular basis, not just on an experimental basis, but on an ongoing basis. And so La Mega Mundial and the Callaloo Network have come together, joined force to be able to now start to produce content in the area of art, culture, entertainment, food, music, you name it, and we're working together to be able to make that possible. One of the other areas in terms of which we will be collaborating on is a project called Drop Music, and that's DROPMIUSIX.com. It's a platform that will help up and coming artists, even established artists that are coming out with new projects and are going to drop their new projects into a live audience. And we're really excited and looking forward to that. And so today we have with us the artist that is La Mega Mundial, working closely with La Mega Mundial. Ricardo Villalona should be joining us shortly, hopefully, and he'll give us some background with that as well. But until then, let's have a chat with Rachel and a little bit about Rachel. Also, I'm going to play a video. I have a video lined up, queued up, so you can watch and hear her video as well. But until then, Rachel, I want you to meet my colleague, Terry. Terry Coxum is in the New York tri-state area. She's a dynamic businesswoman. She is an educator, and she is an advocate for small businesses, doing some great work in the New York tri-state area. Terry, say hello to Rachel.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi, how are you?
I'm really good. I'm super excited about you being on the show. Looking forward to seeing the video and chatting about, how to help jumpstart the economy. So thanks for being on the show today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm really glad to be here.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Terry, Terry, New York is a hub for entertainment, right?
Absolutely.
In terms of film production, music, sports, the entertainment industry was not immune from the pandemic. So I could only imagine where it's a tough move for where artists who are accustomed to performing live before a live audience, but now have to literally perform virtually for their fans.
Yeah.
And so I want to kind of get a sense of what's happening in New York from your perspective. Share that with the audience, Terry. But Rachel, as an artist and as a singer, writer, publisher, creating your own music, what is it like for you right now in this environment as a recording artist?
I honestly think that it's been a blessing in disguise. A lot of artists are pulled in so many different directions when it comes to creating art. And this has allowed us the time and given us the space to really hone in on our craft. So personally, for me, it has been really, really good. I've been able to focus a lot on, what messages I want to deliver across, the world, because it's global. Right. So that's been something really good for me. I've been a part of some virtual concerts on Instagram and on Facebook Live. So it's been an adjustment, like for everybody else. It's definitely been an adjustment, but I think it is like everything, you just have to adapt. But it's been really good for me. Some studios closed down. I'm pretty sure everybody did temporarily, but they've been taking the correct measures to keep everyone safe and healthy. So as soon as they opened up, I was able to go in and record a couple things. So I didn't take a big blow from the pandemic situation. But I'm also in a very blessed position as well that I am able to do this full time and not have to worry.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that, because Terry, as I'm sure fan of music, as you are, I love music. How does it? How do you feel having the music and the artists that you love and not really being able to, really go out and go to these lounges and calls and experience, artists?
So for me personally, it's been different because you're not able to go to, the Javits Center or go to Madison Square Garden and taking a big concert and really, hang out with your friends and stuff like that. But it's also been, like Rachel said, it has been a blessing in disguise because you have artists that are very creative now. You have DJs like DJ Night, like D Nice has changed the game with having a virtual concert. And so you're dancing around in your house and enjoying the music still, with artists like that. And then I'm a part of I Love Art, and so it's a nonprofit organization that pulled together artists across the world, and they did little segments to raise money for artists that are not as fortunate as Rachel, that have lost a lot and they needed money to kind of really sustain themselves during this time. And so we're able to give back during those virtual concerts. And so and then it's funny, I was just listening to NPR News before I got on the line today, and I was listening to one of the Philharmonics that was very concerned that they weren't able to perform, so they decided to get on the back of the truck and like drive around New York City, playing the Philharmonic so that people can still have that musical experience. And so it's given us, like Rachel said, an opportunity to be creative. It's also given us an opportunity to really kind of bring other people in that wouldn't necessarily go to that concert. If I see the Philharmonic come to my neighborhood, I'm going to get out my window and kind of see what's going on, right? So it's to do that. Or if you're on social media and on Instagram and you're part of these concerts, I want to, I may not have listened to Rachel, but I saw her, perform on Instagram, or I saw her perform on Facebook Live, and so now I want to go and check out her music more. And so it's been different. I do love the experience of going out to a live concert. My daughter plays the trumpet, and so and I love the saxophone, and so I do enjoy that experience. But I think that this pandemic has just taught us to be even more creative. I always say this, and I'll continue to say, with obstacles there are opportunities, and so it's giving us an opportunity to share our music with the world. And like Rachel said, there are no boundaries, right? So people are listening in the UK, like Colin's on our line, or people listening down south or here in New York. We're all able to share those similar experiences through our music and through whatever else whatever platform that we're using for that. So yeah, I miss having the show tape outside, because that was a whole nother thing. TV shows weren't able to be taped. They weren't able to do any movies outside. They're coming back into that now. So I do miss walking down the street and seeing like a Denzel Washington going, hey, but at the same time, I think that this is an opportunity for us to share our music with the world.
It's definitely,
yeah.
How do I say, I've what I have experienced during this time is there's people in different countries that weren't listening to me before be introduced to my stuff, which is really nice, and it feels like a really huge accomplishment as an artist. But it has also it has pressed reset, I think, on all of our lives, and it has kind of forced us. Now we're all stuck inside. It's forced us to step outside of the box, but also really look at what matters, spend more time with our families, reach out to people that we care about. It also is teaching us who is reaching out to us, who is actually caring about how we're doing. You know what I mean? So it's like, you could always look at the positive.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the other
absolutely.
Anthony, did you get an opportunity? Did you get an opportunity to see the video?
Yeah, no. What I thought was interesting. I say again. I didn't hear that, Terry. Say that again.
There was a video that went around, and I actually got it on Facebook.
I didn't hear that again, please.
There was a musical video that went around. There were artists in Jamaica, Trinidad, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and all parts of the Caribbean, and they were sharing their music with us, and they were literally like pouring out their hearts, asking the country and the world to come together. And I shared it with a lot of different people on my social media platforms. They were artists that they'd never heard of. And they were really, and like Rachel, they started looking at Facebook and Instagram and YouTube to find these artists in the Caribbean that they would have never paid attention to had it not been for the pandemic, and they didn't come together collectively with their flags and all of their pride to share their music with the world. And so that was, and I'll share it with you, Anthony. I think it was phenomenal. It was well put together. There was dancers and drumming in it. It was really a good video.
Yep. A lot of underground artists are coming to light. They're being discovered by a lot of people now. Where back then, or just earlier this year, we're seeing a lot of the mainstream, but now it's given an opportunity to people who don't necessarily get that much recognition or exposure.
Right.
It's giving them the chance to showcase their talent.
Right. Anthony,
it's funny that you say that, Rachel. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you say that, because one would have never thought, Rachel, that the pandemic would have created an equal playing field for all artists, right? Like you said, if you're an established artist, you already had the fan base, you already had the venue, you were pretty much sucking the oxygen out of the room because of your following. And because of the pandemic, literally everybody had to shut down, everybody had to isolate and quarantine as well. And so therefore, it afforded those up and coming artists an opportunity to be able to showcase themselves in the same environment that the established artists themselves were doing this. I thought that's an interesting perspective on that issue, Rachel. I see Ricardo has joined us. Ricardo, can you hear us?
I can hear you fine. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, how are you?
Fantastic. Good. So Rachel, where in the country are you located? Because I'm thinking, as a musician or as an entertainer, there's a certain part of the country that is considered a hub for entertainment. And how do you feel? Have you done anything? Have you performed in the New York tri-state area? Obviously, the New York tri-state area is a big market for entertainment. Where are you performing? Where are you located? Just share a little bit with us, with the audience.
So right now I'm in Tampa, Florida, and the closest market to me that is booming with the music industry is going to be Miami. I have not performed yet there or in New York. I'm working my way there, but I have performed some of my original songs here in Tampa. And actually, the way that this city is moving, it's growing, it's expanding so much right now. So it's just a matter of patience when it comes to reaching more people in my area. But the goal is to travel to all these markets and and just perform and get to know people, collaborate, learn as much as I can from other individuals, and just work together to push, like I said earlier, the message, which is, you're not by yourself, you're not alone. We're all struggling, we're all going through our own things, but music is a universal language, and with it, my goal as an artist is to connect everybody.
Now, let's talk a little bit about that one project that you have that I absolutely love, On Your Side. I just thought that the inspiration behind that song and the timing is so perfect because it speaks to the current issue, the current environment. Tell us a little bit about and we're going to play that bit. We're going to play that. We're going to play your music shortly. But give us a little background on that song, On Your Side, that you just released not too long ago.
Okay, of course. So On Your Side, I wrote this song back in early June of this year when we were really in the heart of everything going on, the pandemic, the Black Lives Matter movement, things going on overseas, all the politics going on. And I just felt this heaviness, kind of helpless in a sense. Like, I'm doing everything that I can. I'm volunteering. I'm sending funds to different charities. I'm using my voice. I'm speaking out on social media, and I'm, going out in public, and there's protests and all these things going on. And I still felt like I hadn't said my piece fully. And so it inspired me to write On Your Side, which one of the lines in the hook is, "This won't last forever. I'll stand on whatever for you to see that I'm forever on your side." I just felt like, for me, music is the way that I express myself the best. And it's a timeless song. It really can apply to anything. Because like I said earlier, we're all struggling internally with things, externally with things. And so that was the inspiration for the song. I just wanted to put something out there that gave people a sense of hope and made them feel like they were a part of something. Can you hear me?
That's fantastic. Let's bring in Ricardo. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. I see Colin. Colin is from the UK.
Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Ricardo?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I think Rachel was having a problem hearing me. I'm not sure. Okay. Basically, tell us a little bit in terms of working with Rachel as an artist and with the development of and her projects. Clearly, when you think of Rachel as a bilingual artist, she has the best of both worlds. She can cross over from Latin to English, and actually do a combined sort of a project. I think she has tremendous potential. But you in the Latin market space from an entertainment standpoint, and seeing her as an art developer, as an artist, what do you see in terms of the future of her uniqueness that she brings both to the table?
Anthony, me being in the music industry, in my entire life, I'm being in the broadcasting for 25 years, but I grew up in a musician family. We have famous artists in my family. And when I entered the radio space, I remember taking Rachel being, 5, 6, 7 years old to concerts. Okay. So she had the music on her. It's part of her DNA. And, I remember Rachel being a child, and, she used to sing for elementary school, for middle school, and for high school. But she always had that thought that she have to be, first of all, education goes first. And she always said that, I'm going to finish my career. She already finished her bachelor's degree in health. And she, it was her priority, to go to college first. Okay. There was a time that she stopped, pretty much, she stopped maybe literally for a year and a half or two, concentrating more in school. But she never stopped writing, and she performed, like I say, when she was, 13, 14, 15 years old, 17. I put them in numerous festival here in Atlanta, and you can tell that she had uh, that look, but also she's gonna be, I would say, not because she's my daughter, but she's gonna be more of a classic artist because it's the way she grew up. She grew up in a great family. I always say to Rachel, look, when you become famous, famous comes with a price, meaning, okay, it's not that you're going to do whatever it takes for you to go and be famous, but famous comes with a price. It takes a lot of sacrifices. You have to become a role model because what happens when you're famous, it can go both ways. Whether you harm a lot of people if you do wrong things, and you can, okay, liberate and freedom a lot of people from the struggling if they look at you as a role model. And that's, as a dad, that's what I'm expecting from her. I think she already had that foundation, okay, on her, and I expect great things from her. She's very talented. um, uh, she's you know she's a great person. She's a very nice person, and not because, like I said, not because she's my daughter, but one of the things I always told her is I want to be her manager, not because I am in the music industry. I want to be her manager because during the music industry and entertainment industry, it's a lot of bad actors. Okay, when it comes to trying to screw a lot of artists, financially, and also an environment that I seen a lot of artists losing everything and going at it, on drugs. And so that's why I want to be there for her. And she just turned 24. It is the time, I spent 2 good weeks with Rachel and between Boston, that's where she was born. I have another daughter in Boston, and we spent great time between Boston and New York, being together all day long, talking about what the future holds, is going to hold. And I think, because of the crisis, and she mentioned it, you have more time to spend with the family. And because nobody's out, pretty much we spend 24 hours together. So by saying that, um, I promised my daughter that this is the year that we're going to launch her career. Because like I said, it takes time, it takes dedication, but also takes, financial. You have to have the financial means in order for you to project an artist. Because as much relationship that you have, social media has become an industry and a business that if you don't spend money on an artist, it's just like it doesn't matter how much talent you have. You have to spend money, to develop an artist. And I feel I am in that position now so Rachel can be very successful and also represent both community, the Latin community and the general community, because she's Latin, but she was born and raised here, and she have the both world. I moved to Tampa in 2001 just to give her a better life. I mean, better life is being more outdoor. Because being in Boston, I remember my daughter being almost 4 years in the same building, only literally going out just on Sunday when we used to take her to the movies because we had the babysitter in the same building. So I say that's not what I want for my daughter. I want my daughter to live in an open environment, so she can see, people in Florida, they're very nice. Geographically speaking, it depends how you feel in your mood. I grew up in New York, in Queens, and in Yonkers, in New York. People think that New Yorker could be very arrogant, but they're not. It's just because they have so a rush life that they don't have any time to waste. But they great people. New Yorkers are great people. They help people a lot. But like I say, Rachel, being in Florida, I can see that it's the right place for her to be at the younger age. It's a family city, especially Tampa. But now it's up to her what she wants to accomplish because she's 24, like I say, and she has it all, for her to be successful.
Thank you.
Well said.
Thank you.
I'm what's going through his mind, because it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story. I don't want to get emotional, but I'm just sad. Oh my God, you're killing me. It's a sort of relationship thing. It's a beautiful story. Thank you so much for that.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Before our other colleague Jessica, which is coming on the food segment after this segment, is with us. But I wonder if Colin had any closing statement before we play the video and let Rachel go when we go on to the next segment. Colin, have you heard anything that you've heard to chime in on, making comments on? No. Okay.
Anthony, I think you were breaking up a little bit.
I'm going to play the video. Rachel, before I play the video, I want to thank you. I look forward to working with you.
Thank you for having me. This is so much fun.
I said it again.
Oh, I said thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So what I'm going to do is, Rachel, I'm going to.
I've got nothing much to add, but that was really fascinating.
Welcome. Yes, I heard that. Thank you for taking time to be here with us. Yeah, absolutely, Colin. Absolutely. All right, so let's go out with the video. This music piece. I'm gonna play a video. I'm gonna play a video on your site, and then we will catch up soon, and look forward to being able to bring you back on the show and work with you, Rachel.
All right, sounds wonderful. You guys have a great one. Thank you so much.
You have a great one as well. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to hearing more of you, Rachel.
Likewise.
Thank you, Terry.
You're welcome.
All right. Can you guys still hear me? The computer is freezing up here.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah, the computer. I'm trying to play the video, but
people in a bag, protected by the ones from above. Together, stand side to side. As long as we stay focused, we'll be okay. Always dealing with the same shit, different day. Till we let them know we're here to stay. No force against us will rise. They dim the light, at least they tried. This ain't a dream, this is a life. You wake up soon, just close your eyes. No, the lies they tell we don't believe. They try so hard to try and scream. Repeat the past, but it won't last. This won't last forever. I'll stand on whatever for you to see that I'm forever on your side. This won't last forever. I'll stand on whatever for you to see that I'm forever on your side. Here we go again, trying to make amends. Try to bring peace to the violence. Do you really think I'm gonna stay silent? I wanna be the light, not see the light. Yes, one day it will come, but right now's not the time. The fire that lit inside of me created flames for all to see. Extinguish first the pain you breathe, and all hell will cease. This won't last forever. I'll stand on whatever for you to see that I'm forever on your side. This wanna say that I'm forever on your side. People in the front, people in the back, protected by the ones from above. Together stand side to side. People in the front, people in the back, protected by the ones from above. Together stand side to side. Work ain't finished, yeah, yeah.
Jessica, can you hear me? Jessica?
Hi. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? I was muted. My apologies. I think we're having some audio technical difficulties. If you can hear me. Testing 1, 2, 3. Stacy, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay. And I can hear you. So Anthony, I think if you unmute, I think we're good to go. Well, Stacy,
Right.
I'm glad that you. Okay. Oh, we got Anthony! Yay! Okay, I think we're rolling now. Maybe we don't. So we're going to start the program anyway. I'd like to introduce Stacy Charles. who is the founder of a eatery in Frederiksted called Rise Caribbean, which is a multi-use eatery, art gallery, and office space. Stacey, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jessica. Nice to be here. And
it's so good to see you. I'm glad I'm back.
So great to see you. Welcome back to St. Croix.
Thank you. So let's tell everyone, our audience, a little bit about your space there in Frederiksted. She has the eatery and the multi-use space, which is located in historic Frederiksted, which is on Strand Street, which is amazing, beautiful, historic site in St. Croix. Stacey, tell us a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background and your St. Croix roots here.
Sure. So Rise Caribbean, and I'll start with Rise, and I'll talk a little bit about myself. Rise Caribbean has been a brainchild of mine for many, many years. I have roots in the Virgin Islands. I was born here on St. Croix, grew up in St. Thomas, St. Croix, and in the Caribbean. And I, for many years, dreamt of coming back home and thought about ways that I could make an impact. And when I thought about really bringing this a dream to life, I thought of ways that would inspire people and also sort of foster collaboration and creativity. So Rise Caribbean came from that, and the eatery was really just a way to pull people in. You know, it's always been my dream, and I've worked in the food industry, but my most recent, like 20, 25 years have been on the corporate side of things, doing marketing and strategy. But one great way of taking care of people and collaborating and driving creativity and inspiration amongst people is by feeding them. And so this is a small portion, the restaurant is a small portion of what we do. We have an art gallery, and then we also have a co-work space where people can access beautiful furnished office space on a flexible basis. So as they need it, whether for a day, a month, a week, and so on. And, you know, thankfully, we're here in Frederiksted where I couldn't pay for this view, really.
Right. Absolutely.
And it's also great to be here in Frederiksted because we do have access on the west end of the island to lots of farmers. I mean, we source a lot of our greens and herbs right here in Frederiksted from local farmers, and then other farmers across the island. We source some things from a hydroponic farm mid-island. So it's really great to be on St. Croix and specifically in West because just of the sort of natural approach that people have to life here. I think, you know, not to diss anyone else, but more than anywhere else that I find. We also find that there's a great appreciation for what we do, and we feel really fully immersed in the community. So that's in a nutshell what we're doing here. Our menu is a blended fusion menu because I think it represents me and us in the Caribbean. We're very much, and in the Virgin Islands, we're very much on a spectrum of culture and flavor influences that impact the spices and herbs that we use, the root vegetables, the grains, the meats, all of that. While people think we're a vegetarian and vegan restaurant, we're not. But we do make a great effort to be very creative in delivering wonderful, like, vegan and vegetarian dishes, along with all the other dishes that we prepare.
Stacey, how long has the eatery been open?
So we opened in late January of 2020, so just 7 months ago.
Okay. And how has the whole COVID-19, how has that affected you and your business? I mean, did you have to just rely on just carry out and shut down the whole dining room for a short period of time?
Well, essentially, we were open for about 6 weeks, literally a little less than 6 weeks before March 15th, where we had to shut everything but the kitchen down. And yes, we went to takeout only. We just tightened our belts like everyone else. You know, we figured out what worked, and I'm thankful for especially my local customers who really supported us during that very, very, dry period. But I mean, it's impacted us in that as we know, the season here in the Virgin Islands is, December to March, April, and we didn't really get to experience that season because even before the formal shutdown, we were hearing talks of people getting sick, and there were great concerns. And I mean, our local customers were sort of staying away. And then obviously during the shutdown, people said, okay, we've been given a stay-at-home order, I'm going to stay at home. But more importantly, I want to stay safe. And so we really saw the impacts of people just being fearful and concerned, rightfully so, for their health and safety and those of the people in their homes and their loved ones.
And I saw on Instagram that you're doing family portion dinners, which is a great idea because that's something, when we work from home all day, we just want to go and have someone else prepare a meal for us. So are you still offering that service?
Yeah, we offer family portions, we offer individual portions, we do group catering for groups. I mean, while folks are not necessarily coming out and, dining as much as we hope to get back to, people are still having sometimes intimate dinners at home or group gatherings because at the end of the day, we are social creatures. And like I said at the beginning of this talk, what is the best way, the number one way we kind of convene and collaborate and commingle? It's around food. So we do catering for small groups as well.
Great. And I noticed also that you're doing some juicing over there.
We do juicing. We do lots of smoothies.
Right.
I mean, while we import, in just real terms, I mean, people sometimes think, oh, we're on an island. Visitors will come here and say, oh, we're on an island, and we're surprised that we're not getting more local food. And it's like, well, we're on an island with constraints, right? We
absolutely
been impacted by decades of, impact from trade agreements that we're not part of, and we have had many years of impact to our agricultural sector. So which means that we don't have the capacity. Yes, we have the land, but we don't have the capacity, the people, the machinery, all of the years of expertise that a nation or a region would need to feed itself, to be completely self-sufficient. So we do import well over 90% of our foods. What we can get here locally, we get it, and we use it, whether it's our fruit juices, our carambola, whatever's in season that we're able to get, we use. We use lots of, local pumpkin and cucumbers and avocados. And I'm so thrilled because I have so many customers that just bring me things all the time. Hey, can you use a box of these? And it's like,
especially mangoes during mango season. Because at the end of mango season, I'm like, no more mangoes. I don't want another mango.
Oh, that's you, Jessica. I can always. No, I'm like, you know what you do with those mangoes if you feel overwhelmed by them? It's a great idea. You take them, and you could do two things. If you think you want to use them for your family, say later in a couple of months, just peel them. You don't have to peel them, but just peel them. Get that meat off of the seed, bag it in Ziploc bags, put it in the freezer, put it at the bottom of your freezer. You'll be so happy, when you want to make smoothies for your kids, or you want to make a nice jam or whatever, and that you can just pull it out and drop it into the blender and use it, right? So that's one. And if you want to send it off as a gift, I mean, it's work, right? But you can put your kids to work to do this, and they would love it. Literally, you can take the mangoes or any of our fruit, really, just get it boiling, put some sugar in it, jam it up, get some mason jars, and just literally put a shelf of like really nice jams of local fruit, and you can send those off as gifts to your family, wherever they are, or friends. even sometimes on other islands, we have, you know, some islands have more than others, right? So we can send it off to our friends on St. Thomas. Here's some St. Croix mangoes.
Right. Now, is that something that we can see at the eatery at Rise? Is that something that you were going to offer eventually there?
Well, but I don't want to
for Christmas.
Yes, but definitely some things that are in the works for us are, you know, we know that while we love Frederiksted and I can do the commute every day, it's not accessible for everyone, especially if you, I mean, for you, Jessica, you live on the other end of the island and you're busy, right? So how can we get our products into your hands? So our next step is to do more sauces and jams and our pestos and our basil oils and our aiolis and our, you know, so that it'll be bottled up and I can drop it off or you can come.
Yeah. Well, no, we would love to come out west. I even told the kids, I said, it'd be great to come out west, eat at Rise, come see Stacy, and like, let's scoot on the waterfront.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Sounds like a great day. So tell us, I'm just curious, like, what is your most popular salad and sandwich that you have on the menu?
Oh.
I know.
I tell you, we don't do a whole lot of sandwiches.
Okay.
We started out, and I'll tell you the funny story. And, you know, we started out and we were doing so many jerk chicken wraps, I got sick of them.
Right.
And true story. And all my customers who are listening, yes, I'm sick of the jerk chicken wraps and I'm sick of the vegan wraps because people are like, I want the jerk chicken. I'm like, you've had that for the last 5 days. I don't care. I love it.
Right.
Okay. But what's popular on our menu are the following. So curry shrimp is extremely popular. The jerk chicken bowl is extremely popular. We have a vegan power bowl that is sick. It's so good. I have a customer who comes all the way out from Christiansted just to get, and he says all he wants is the chicken salad and a spoon. A chicken salad in a bowl and a spoon. And so what I say all that to say that, you know, we have something for every palate type. And, you know, people walk in and they're like, oh, you know, I love the menu. Oh, the other thing that's extremely popular from our breakfast menu is our creme brulee French toast.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
It is divine, right? So maybe too sweet for you and I, but basically a really rich custardy creme brulee pudding, and we get that nice batter on the bread, and then, you know, lots of berries and all the good stuff that goes with it. So
right,
it's good.
Well, I know I've had your chicken salad before with walnuts. It's cranberry. What else do you put in there? It's like a homemade tarragon.
Apples. We use a tarragon that we get either here in Frederiksted or we get from Fresh Greens VI. And that tarragon is life-changing, truly. So we create a tarragon mayo, and it's beautiful. I mean, you know, the thing I say to people with food, of course, I want them to come here and buy my food and spend their money, but you know, when they're making choices about how to get the most bang for their buck, when they're shopping either at the grocery store, at the farmer's market, or they're going straight to the farm, you know, get your vegetables, but also get some good herbs, you know, because a nice pumpkin goes a long way. I mean, you can use it in so many different ways, but also your herbs. I mean, we have the most amazing varieties of basil here on St. Croix. We have a lemon basil, we have a Thai basil, we have a Chinese basil, we have a Genoa basil, and so we do a lot of pestos and basil oils, and then we also use our basils in our bush tea. So we make a hot bush tea, and we do an iced bush tea. And
oh, that sounds wonderful. I haven't had bush tea in two months.
All right, come on down, or I'll drop off a gallon for you.
No, we're gonna come out and see you. I told you that. So, are you featuring a local artist this month at the gallery?
We're working on. Oh, so I thought you were talking about performance artists. We've had a couple of performance artists in the last month or so, but right now we are still featuring Waldemar Broadhurst.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see any of his work.
Okay, let me see. Okay. Now, is that wire?
Yes, this is all wire. And, you know, what's amazing, and I'm going to shift a little bit here. So what's amazing is that he uses both new and recycled materials to create these pieces, right? So, and the form and the movement that you see in them is really, really spectacular. It's my background, I don't know if you know this, Jess, but my undergraduate degree is in art history, and I knew that things come full circle. Here I am again, right? But you know, Waldy is literally a gem amongst us. I don't, you know, if our viewers haven't seen his artwork in person, please come on down to Rise Gallery, or I can happily send photos. The work is just tremendous, and it represents so much of who and what we are and what inspires us in the Caribbean, and specifically in the Virgin Islands. You know, there are pieces of Bambula dancers and Mokojumbi and fairy and mermaids. I mean, you know, this idea of mermaid is kind of weird, but it's very much like old tradition, right? But and then he does really abstract pieces too. So I welcome you to come on down and bring your kids too, because I think children enjoy looking at these pieces and just seeing like, okay, how did this possibly come together out of wire?
Right. So tell us a little bit about the office space, because I know you have some available now.
Mm-hmm. So the office space, we have private offices. So we have about 5 private offices. Each of those offices seats at least 2. So we go from 2 up to 10 people in each of those offices. And then we have desks available. And if someone wanted to use the entire space upstairs for an event, that's available as well. So it's about 2,500 square feet upstairs. Beautiful, completely furnished and wired. So if you need Ethernet, if you need an Ethernet connection, or if you need Wi-Fi, obviously that's available.
And that's a beautiful space too, because I remember when I toured up there with you. I mean, beautiful.
Early days, right? Early.
Well, it wasn't that early. It was, I think, January.
Early enough.
Yeah.
Early enough. But you know, the nice thing is that you can have folks can have access to that for a half day. They can come in and say, Stacey, I need it. I just need to do a deposition, or I have a live. We have someone Holden, who's been doing his live streams of his new show from one of the offices. Or you can just, you know, come on there and work, like,
right.
You know, crank for 8 hours. And we're here, and the space is open 6 days a week, because, you know, I'm here almost every day. So
right.
Yeah.
Do you let yourself take a stroll in the morning before you open up that gallery? No, I know you all. I always think about, gosh, I wish, you know, I live right by the beach. Sorry, I'm trying to get out of the light.
Oh, okay. Where are you?
Well, I'm in my kitchen, and usually, you know, I'm in a studio, but due to circumstances, I'm in the kitchen today, and unfortunately, I have a lot of light issues. So my apologies.
It's better now. It looks great.
Yeah. I was trying to make it a little bit better.
However, I'm not seeing you.
Can you see me now?
No. Oh, now, yes, now.
Okay, yeah. Well, that's Anthony in the back doing the board. Anything else you want to add?
You know, just I encourage people to come down. We know that we are under stay-at-home order. We know that we're, you know, practicing social distancing, but there's no other better place to do it, honestly. You can come down to the waterfront, grab a meal, walk through the gallery, go sit on the waterfront, like take in the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's spectacular. And soon we'll be out of stay-at-home order, and we'll have tables. We have this beautiful archway, so we have tables outside and umbrellas, and it's our Caribbean. Let's take advantage of it, right?
Yeah.
And I welcome anybody to come and tour the space, or give me a shout out for if they need a space that they need to book. So.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that'll come soon. And the nice thing is, you know, with yours, it's a pure package. I mean, they can rent the space upstairs, you know, walk through the gallery, and then you can do a lunch for the whole office space, for the whole crew, or for whoever's coming in.
Absolutely. We've done that. We've actually done that quite a few times. I mean, and people have rented the space also for paint and sips and private parties. So it's, here again, my goal was to really create something that lent itself or facilitated collaboration, allowed people to come and mingle and meet and, you know, and have good conversations and connect. Because I think that so many of us have wonderful ideas and are doing so many great things, but sometimes we're in our own little corners, right? And we need to really have a place where, okay, we can come, hang, work, get some inspiration and meet other people who are like-minded and just get those cross-pollination of ideas.
And I'd love to have you on our cooking show once we get that up and started and the restaurants are open and we don't have to wear masks, so people can like actually look at us and we can taste the food without moving the mask. But I'd like to also at some point do a juicing class with you on our show. Would that be fun?
That would be great.
We should have Kyler come join us.
She would handle it. She would make us look like fools. Yeah, you know that, right?
Well, that's Kyler's my daughter, but her new thing this month is smoothies. So she's been making smoothies. Oh. So I'll let her know about the mangoes. Yeah, and it's a great way to like, here's your smoothie. Time to go to school. So hopefully school starts.
Right. So I have a new smoothie. It's called a cocoa protein smoothie, and it's plant-based, 100%. The recipe is on my Instagram page, and I think on our Facebook page as well, Rise Caribbean. And it's good. When I tell you it's good, it's really delicious. And I will happily make it for Kyler and see if I can get the approval of, how old is Kyler now? 11?
10.
10 of a 10-year-old. Wish me luck.
Yeah. But you know Kyler well. So anything new going on in Frederiksted that we should know about?
Well, we have, as you know, there's always a lot of movement in terms of restaurants opening. Thankfully, I like good company, so I'm happy to know that Siboney is doing really well. 840 Cafe is continuing to thrive. Greg and Mitra are doing wonderful things. Emily is about to open another restaurant down here in Frederiksted, 7 a.m. I mean, we actually have a really booming little food scene going on here. There are options, right? So, and that's really important. And then we'll work on some other entertainment activities down here in Frederiksted to really keep people engaged, right? To not just stuff them, but also to give them reason to come and hang and spend time.
And you know, we're lucky that we have the Fred there, so we could actually come down for like the weekend.
You sure can. You have the Fred. You also have 7AF, which has this is brand new, 7 waterfront guest rooms. Basically, the old Victoria House has been turned into a bed and breakfast. So there's 7. I mean, and they're more like suites, you know, and the view is spectacular, and the architecture of that building is pretty tremendous. So you have the Fred, you have Sandcastle, you have 7AF, and those are just a few that come to mind right here along this waterfront.
Well, I hope to see you this weekend. Thank you for coming on the show today. And eventually, like I said, we'll get into the kitchen. And even if we have to do like a virtual how to juice with Stacy, that's kind of a good name, right? We'll come down. And my apologies about my lighting today, but I won't be here next week in my kitchen because or else I'm just going to have to get a whole bunch of shades or something. So, Anthony, do you want to close us out with anything? Can you hear us? I think he's switching the board. But
all right, Stacey, thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me, Anthony.
Yeah, can you hear me?
And,
yes,
yep. And real quick, I just want to say one thing. Yep,
yes,
we can hear you.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
And I just have one more.
Thank you so much, Stacey. I love the backdrop. I love your rap.
Thank you.
Stacey, just one more thing. Your hours of operation, when are you open?
we're open Tuesday to Sunday, and then anyone can find our hours online on our Facebook page.
Okay.
And they can also find our menu. They can see some of the artwork that's available. They can contact us for information about the office space. We have modified hours on Sundays because, you know, we just do a brunch menu, but every other day except Mondays, we're closed on Mondays.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. Good to see you, Stacy.
Thank you. Great to see you, and welcome back. I can't wait to see you in person.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony.